Welcome back to Newmber Math, in which we apply color to identify and sequence within math. My Math 2 crew, this is your Vertex form review, aka 2.1b, and yes, for the third consecutive quiz, and no, I do not create them. Number one, which function does not have a minimum function? Well, a minimum function would have an a value that's equal to a positive number, so if we are looking for the maximum, that means our a equals a negative number or negative value, but we need to identify the a in different functions. Yes, I do know it's called Vertex form review, but we will have just a couple of standard forms here. Okay, so let's take a look. F of x equals x squared plus 12x plus 8. No, I'm not Mr. Micro Machine, but our coefficient of x squared is also our a value. And yes, if there's a space between, that is complete error. There's an imaginary 1 there, and yes, it is positive. And what do positive people do? They like to smile, just like my parabola does when my a value is positive, but that also creates a minimum. Oh my goodness, let's check out answer choice B here. F of x equals 2x squared plus 18x minus 7. And again, standard form, coefficient of x squared is, yes, great job, it is a positive 2. And if a equals 2, well, we know that 2 is positive, so again, unfortunately, that is not our answer. Now, let's go ahead. Oh my goodness, Vertex form. I see a negative in front of our parentheses. I think somebody said it. It sure is. A equals negative 1. Giving us a frown, but also creating that maximum that we are looking for. Go ahead and circle C as your answer, and D is no good anymore. Moving forward to number 2. What is the vertex of the function f of x equals x plus 7 squared plus 13, and what does it represent? First thing I always like to do is simply identify. All right, so we're going to put our a right there. Let me zoom on in for us, okay? Now, our positive 7 or plus 7, this is also our h value, and our plus 13 or positive 13 here will be represented as your k value. Now, when we write a function here into a vertex, well, we need to pull out the h and the k. Now, the h is inside the parentheses, and yes, it is in blue. And when we write that vertex, well, we need to flip the h, because we write it as negative 1 times h, and negative 1 times positive 7 simply becomes negative 7. However, the k stays the same. Oh my goodness, and I just wrote k when the number is 13. Thank you. Great pick me up there. Shout out to the crew in the 4th row. Thank you. All right, now it says, and what does it represent? Well, it's just saying, is it a minimum function or a maximum function? And we know when our a value is equal to 1, well, guess what? Our function is going to have a minimum function. So we're looking for a vertex that's negative 7 and 13 with a minimum function. Well, this is 7, 13, so a is a no-go. Negative 7, negative 13, no, unfortunately, we do not flip the k. C is a no-go. Or B is a no-go. Let's check out C. The vertex is negative 7, 13. Wonderful. But is it a min? It does represent a minimum function. Go ahead and circle C as your answer, as yes, D also has the same vertex of negative 7 and 13 here, but it represents a maximum. That is a no-go for this one. And moving forward to number 3. Provided the vertex of a parabola of negative 8, 4 that passes through the point negative 6, negative 4, write the equation in vertex form. All right, fortunately for us here, it's giving us our a values, okay? We have 3 of them that are negative and 1 of them that's a positive. All right, well, big hint there. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyways, let's go through. All right, so just like we did above, we were given the function and had to write the opposite of our h value. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I want to identify first, okay? Let's go ahead. Let's make this our h. Let me zoom in so those viewing can actually see. My bad on that. And 4 will then be your exactly k value All right, we will use, let's go orange for our -6. Now, -6, -4 is simply just x and y. All right, so let me do our x there, and let's go red and, nope, we already used red. Sorry, I meant to do gray. Thank you so much. Okay, now, what we do know is that when we are writing this function here, all right, let's go ahead and start it. It's going to be something like this. It's going to say, let's just write it off down here as, nope, I don't like that there. It needs to be gray. Let's follow the colors here. Y equals, we don't know the blank space between yet. We don't know our a value quite yet. And I'm going to teach you, well, I guess maybe 2 ways on this. And then on number 10, you will see a third way on how to actually solve for a. All right, so let's open up some parentheses here that we are definitely sure of. All right, so we don't know our a yet, but we do know that there will be an x here. And now, if it goes our h value, but we need to flip our h, so our -8 becomes a, yes, put it right there, +8. Let's close those parentheses off, square it, and if our k value stays the same, well, k is 4, so it's going to be something like this with a +4. All right, but we don't know what the a is. Now, here's a simple trick on how to do that. So let me get my highlighter out because I did not get my x nor my y. And I want to make sure that we have that readily accessible for us, okay? Now, what you can do is we can do when k, oh, let me get back to the pen. When k is greater than y, that will equal a maximum function, which equals a -a value. All right, so -a value. Now, if our k value is less than y, so k would be then less than our y value, that will equal a minimum function, which equals a positive a value. Okay, so let's just take a look. K is 4 and y is -4. Well, it's pretty clear that k is greater than y because 4 is greater than -4, giving us a max function, which equals a -a value. So we're looking for then, well, if they're all represented by a 2, it needs to be a -2. And then we're looking for x +8 and then a +4 on the outside. Well, right here we have a -2. If we're looking for x +8, well, that's x -8. Well, a can't be it because 2 is positive. So we get rid of b. We'll move forward to c. And then we have our -2. Wonderful. We have our x +8. Oh, my goodness, Mr. Richards, when you made this, you forgot to square them all. Sorry about that, guys. My bad. Let me go ahead and do that for us. All right. Sorry about that, guys. -2, x +8 +4, it's squared. We have everything we need right here because we have a subtraction 4. We don't flip our k, we only flip the 8, which goes from here to here. All right, so let's go ahead and circle C is our best answer choice. And moving forward to number 4, provided f of x equals x squared, what is the shift in the vertex of the graph f of x -3? Well, let's just take a look, guys, okay? If we were to actually just write this as a pair of coordinates here, our x -3, well, what's inside of the parentheses is always our h value. And what do we know about that when we put it into parentheses? Yes, we do need to flip that from a -3 to a +3. And we can just put 3, 0, because where's it actually going to shift? Well, it's actually shifting then to the right. So let's just take a look. The vertex shifts 3 units up. No, that would be on the outside represented with a K. The vertex shifts 3 units down, again, up and down. Vertical is your K value. C, the vertex shifts 3 units right. Done deal. Circle your answer. Move forward. As you can see, a lot of this, guys, is just simple identification, but always know to flip, okay? If it's written here in like a function type of form, when you write a coordinate here, it always is going to be flipped. And if you were giving it as a coordinate, you always have to flip it back. All right, we call that flip mode. Let's go. All right, number 5. Provided f of x equals x squared, what is the shift in the vertex of the graph f of x minus 9? Well, that number, is it in parentheses or outside of parentheses? Yes, it is outside of parentheses. That's also known as our k value. And if we were just to write this quickly here, it'd be 0. And then do we touch k? Does it get flipped? No, it stays the same. So what is that exactly telling us to do? Are we shifting 9 units up? No, because when we go up, we go into the positive. And is it telling us to shift 9 units down? That's exactly what it's telling us to do. Go ahead and circle B as your best answer choice. Okay, so as you can see, our K value falls right here in the y-axis, where our H value is horizontal and falls on the x when we are shifting. All right, so given f of x equals x squared, what is the equation of g of x if f of x is translated to the left 6 units and down 2 units? All right, so what I like to do is I like to simply just pull our wording out and write it as coordinates. All right, so I'm going to go left 6 units. So let me open up here, and I'll close here, and I'll do a comma here. If I'm going left 6 along my x-axis, which is horizontal because that left 6 right there is our h value, well, we'd be going negative 6, all right? And then if we are going down 2 units, let me highlight that for us, well, then that would also be a negative because we'd be going down into the negative, so negative 2. All right, now it says, what is the equation? Okay, so here we go. We can simply write this as g of x equals, now our a value pops right here in front of our x squared. It's simply 1, so we don't need to write that 1. So go ahead and open a parenthesis. We will do our x. But if we know if we're going from a coordinate to a function or a function to a coordinate, we need to flip our h value. And yes, we should all be comfortable by now that negative 6 is our h value. It's going to be flipped into a positive 6. So we will go plus 6. Close it, square it. Our k value, which is negative 2, stays the same. Go ahead and write it, and now let's find our answer. X minus 6, no, it's not. They forgot to flip the h value. Get rid of a. So you look at B. X plus 6 squared plus 2. Why did they flip the k? I don't know. Get rid of it. Moving on, g of x equals x plus 6 squared here, minus 2. X plus 6 squared minus 2. Go ahead and circle C as your best answer choice. Moving forward to number 7, provided f of x equals x squared and g of x equals x minus 4 squared plus 9, what is the shift of the vertex to g of x from f of x? Okay, so now again, let's just simply go ahead and write it as coordinates. Now we're going from a function to a coordinate, but again, we need to continue to flip that h value. Now, if our h value is, great job, someone said it, negative 4, what does it become? It simply does. It's just 4. Your k is, yes, great job, it's 9. Please go ahead and write your 9. And we know if that we are looking at this, we will be going to the right 4 and up 9. All right, so this one's saying to the left 4 units and down 9. Whoa, way off. All right, left 4 units and up 9. No, that's not right either. Right 4 units and up 9. Go ahead and circle C as your best answer choice. Number 8, write the vertex of the quadratic function of f of x equals negative, x minus 4 squared plus 8. All right, so again, it's looking for that vertex, and what do we know about that? Please, thank you. Do I need to write h above that? No, we're comfortable. What do we do? Yes, it's a flip. Please, number 8, let's go ahead. I did not mean to cross you out. I meant to highlight you as our k value that stays the same. go ahead and write that in as your vertex. So our vertex is 4, 8. Ballpark a sketch of the graph based on the vertex and the A value. All right, if our vertex is 4, 8, all right, let's just start at 0, 0. Let's go 4 to the right, and let's go up 8. Perfect. Now let's plot that point. That right there is your vertex. All right, but ballpark it based on, okay, the vertex and the A value. What is our A value? Oh my goodness, yes, our A value is a -1. And what is our parabola going to do? It is going to frown, and because it's our max value, our vertex, we can ballpark it as something like this. Go ahead. That's exactly what the parabola is going to look like because it'll be frowned. Our A value is negative, giving us a maximum point in our vertex. Moving forward to number 9, provided f of x equals x squared, what is the equation of g of x if f of x is translated to the left 6 units and down 3 units? All right, so again, you guys know I love the colors, and yes, I do love to convert my words into coordinates now. All right, so left 6 units, we will be going -6. And if we are going down 3 units, we will be going -3. All right, what else is it asking us? What is the equation? So now we're just going to convert this into an equation. That's all, okay? I like writing it this way so I can simply plot my point instead of looking at the equation, but heck, that's just me. Or we could have just done it from the words too, but I'm more of a visual guy. All right, so our g of x equals, all right, g of x equals, let's put that in black. And we will open up here, and again, sorry about that, our A value, guys. If it's providing you f of x equals x squared, there's that imaginary 1 there, so we're just going to leave it. And we're simply going to open a parenthesis here. And again, we will do our x, but what goes right there? Is it the -6? Thank you for catching me. Goodness, you guys are wonderful. It's a +6. All right, we will square that. And then our k value, again, my goodness, we are on fire up in here. We're going to burn it down. We on fire. Keep that a -3. And let's go ahead and simply plot our vertex of -6, -3. All right, so we are going to go -6 to the left, -3 down. We are going to plot our point. Our A value, again, is positive. So this time, we're going to ballpark another sketch and go ahead, and this time our vertex is smiling, creating a minimum point. Because remember, the vertex point will always be the low minimum or the high maximum, whatever it is, okay? So that's how you can kind of draw that parabola. And for number 10, it says, write the vertex and axis of symmetry, then write the equation based on the graph below. Here's what I'm going to do. Since I simply forgot to, I am going to, let's see, we will draw on our own? I think that works. Yeah, let's just draw on our own here. And I was really hoping to get a good one there, but obviously I did not, because I do want to show you guys exactly how we can find this here. All right, we'll leave this here. Nope, let me go back to that. I want to pull that up just a hair because I do want to have it like perfect. All right, let me make sure it hits another point. It certainly does. All right, here we go. Now we have our graph, and yes, there is our vertex right there. So it says write the vertex. Well, our vertex is simply going to be, let's open it up. We're going to go 4 to the right and down 6. So that's going to be 4 and -6. Wonderful. Now, in order to actually find the A value, what you can do is you can pick any point with our parabola, but I always like to pick one that's like perfect. So I'm going to pick right here, and let's just say that hits perfect on the 4-way stop sign. And that right there, our parabola crosses through this point of 6, 2. Oh my goodness, it's starting to rain, maybe hail out there. I can hear it coming in. So we'll do 6, 2. All right, actually, let me put that into color for us. Let's use brown and gray for our 6 and gray for our 2 because there is something that we have to do. All right, we're going to plug into it. So let's go ahead and identify H. Okay, and the reason we did this earlier for number 3 is just to get comfortable with it, but then we have our X and our Y. All right, now, if our function here is going to go y equals a, we'll open a parenthesis, all right, and then it's going to be x, well, yeah, let's just walk through it first. X, the flip of our h, yes, that is supposed to be an h squared, and then plus our k because that stays the same. We are simply going to plug in what we've identified and just write it. So our y equals 2. Perfect. 2 equals. So you see, we're just taking our y that's there, bringing down our equals, our a value. Oh my goodness, yes, we're solving for it. Let's go ahead there. And again, this will be a bonus tomorrow. Our x value is 6. Ooh, I should have put that in brown. Did not mean to do that, but just for the sake of it. All right, now we need to take the flip of our h value or the opposite of our h. So instead of a +4, it'll be -4. Let's close those parentheses. Let's square it. And then our k value will stay the same, which is a -6. So then we will do -6. All right, now when you work through this, let's just start with what is in the parentheses. 6 minus 4, no big deal. All right, so let's just rewrite this as 2 equals. We'll do our red A. All right, we know that 6 minus 4 is 2. All right, let's just square it and then bring down our -6. Beautiful, not too difficult. All right, from here, we will have to do a 2 times 2. All right, or 2 squared, so 2 equals our A value, and 2 squared is equal to 4. Now, I know that's right on top of each other, so instead of just knowing it's A times 4, what I'm going to do is, after we do our 2 squared, I'm actually going to plug that 4 into some parentheses here, and then rewrite our -6. All right, again, it's rewriting, but this is just to simply walk you through gradually each step of the way home. All right, so again, 2 equals. Now we do A times 4 or 4 times A, and we usually write that as 4A. Bring down our -6. From here, we need to get this 4A by itself. Well, what can we simply do? Yes, we can do A plus 6 and plus 6. All right, from here, 2 plus 6 equals 8. Bring down your 4A, -6 plus 6 cancels. How do we get A by itself? We simply divide each side by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 equals A. All right, so now we have a positive A. Oh my goodness, look, our parabola is smiling and we know it's positive. Yes, let's go. Now we just write everything in again. All right, so I'll do it over here. A equals, sorry, look to the left here. A equals. And then what we're going to do is, we know it's a 2. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Mr. Richards, I know I mess up too sometimes. Thanks, guys. Thanks for calling me out. Much love, always. Y equals. Now our A value, which is 2. Open up your parentheses, please. From here, we will do our X. And what did we identify as our H? 4, and we always flip it. So it'll be a -4. Close it, square it, and bring down that K value of -6. And that, boys and girls, is your answer and your review. Let's go.